Right. I think you can introduce it. It's your turn. I introduced it last time.
Last time I tried to introduce it went really bad.
Go on.
Okay. Welcome to the You Again podcast with me, your co-host, Charly.
You're not going to introduce me?
You introduce yourself. Don't be so lazy.
I watched it back and I gave you a gushing introduction last time. Not only did I introduce you, I said the beautiful, wonderful, amazing, lovely, and you just stopped. Couldn't even bother to say my name. Couldn't even be bothered to say my name. You said, do you want me to do the intro? I was like, yeah, okay. And you went, hi, I'm Charly. Come on, try again. Let's go from the top. From the top. Yep.
Okay.
I need a proper introduction. You don't need to be gushing, but, something a bit more than just a vacant glance would be nice,
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Welcome to the You Again podcast with me, Charly, and John, the amazing John, the all-encompassing human that is John.
That just sounds sarcastic now.
I always sound sarcastic and I never mean to be.
But I think you did then.
No, I meant it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why are you grinning then when I said you meant to be sarcastic?
Because I love you so much.
Right, yeah. Welcome back to the You Again podcast. Just a quick message right at the beginning. You forgot this bit. You don't want us to make any money?
Oh no, I can do this.
Right, okay.
Okay, so this podcast comes out every 2 weeks for Patreons 10 days earlier than people who are not patrons. So, link in the description if you want to become a patron. At any level, any tip jar amount, you will receive this podcast 10 days earlier than everyone else.
But the top tier tip jar does get an extra bonus stream.
Yes.
Once a month between us. The first Monday of every month. 8 p.m. UK time. Right. Yeah, I think that was good. So just to clarify, it's patreon.com/John Rochford.
Yes.
Brilliant. How are you?
I'm tired.
Why are you tired?
Because I'm an adult.
Because you're an adult. It could be because you had your COVID jab yesterday.
Yeah, that too. I was tired before that though.
Yeah, but you can now blame it on the COVID jab.
Yes, I can.
And you made a bit of a fuss about this jab, didn't you? You're not on for injections.
Oh no, it was utterly tragic, but shout out to the absolutely incredible nurse who gave me my injection. She full on tricked me.
I was about to say, because so to put it into context, a lot of people, nobody really likes injections, do they? A lot of people will freak out at the idea of having a jab, but you really don't like it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, there's all sorts. I could tell you all sorts of stories about me and various injections and jabs over the years. I've had loads because obviously we've been travelling a lot and I had all my childhood vaccinations and all of that. So, it spanned from like being held down by doctors and nurses when I was a kid to the most recent sort of one where I only partially fainted the other day.
How many times have you fainted?
I've only fully fainted once. From a vaccination. I fainted from other things. But from a vaccination only once. And it really took me by surprise. Because I had managed the actual jab really well.
Right.
So this was when... What was I getting a vaccination for? I was getting a vaccination to go to Peru. So it was a random travel vaccination. Can't remember what it was. And I drove by myself. I was about 17. So a long time ago.
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah.
And I've had vaccinations in between where I hadn't fainted, but this was when I fainted. So basically, I had it, and I had all my tactics. I had headphones in for music. I was chewing a piece of fudge. I'd been told to scrunch my toes on the floor, so I was concentrating on everything else. I was lying on the bed. Vaccination, not a problem. I felt really relaxed, and then went to sit in the waiting room for 10 minutes and fainted through my knees onto the floor.
Through your knees?
Yeah.
So you headbutted the ground?
Yeah. It was one of those feints where like the darkness was coming in and I couldn't, like, I was trying to make sounds to like the receptionist, but I just couldn't.
Like a bad dream when you're trying to yell and you can't actually yell. So I think it must be just like all of the tension and the adrenaline before, so that as soon as there's the release of it,
I just go.
Yeah.
And it nearly happened. And you know what? This was far more sort of... Because everyone globally wants one of these vaccinations.
Yeah, they're quite sought after. I want one. I'm quite jealous that you've had one. I'm hoping to get one soon. It's above 34s in the UK as of the day of filming, so I'm not far off.
But everyone, there were so many people there having these vaccinations, and everyone was in like a pretty good mood. We're all getting our jab. We can all go on holiday and go to the pub. It's great.
Yeah.
And then there's me sat in this room full of 20 people who have just had a vaccination, who are all really chuffed with themselves, with my head in my hands, making a big fuss.
Did you get a sticker?
No, there's no stickers. Well, they give you a sticker with like the time you're allowed to leave. Because I had the Pfizer vaccine, so you do have to stay there for a good 15 minutes afterwards.
For allergies.
Yeah. So obviously I said I'm not feeling well, and they all started panicking because obviously if I wasn't going to have an allergic reaction, and I knew that. So I did keep saying to them, this has happened before, it's really embarrassing, can I please have some water and maybe somewhere to lie down? But yeah, it was embarrassing.
But I don't think it is embarrassing, because lots of people really panic about.
Yeah.
There'll be people that are going to be watching or listening to this that will say, no, that happens to me. I get really panicked for injections.
Tell me in the comments if this happens to you, so I can not feel so bad.
But I'm certain it will. But you said that the nurse full on tricked you into getting your jab.
She did. Oh, she was amazing. She made me laugh from the beginning. Like, she could tell, because I was really white when I went in, like pale and sweating.
You said she was a vet.
She was a vet. She's
not even a nurse. She's a vet.
She's part vet nurse and part NHS nurse.
So she's used to sticking it into cows.
She essentially spends her life giving vaccinations to all mammals, basically. Yeah. And
did that fill you with confidence, or did it make you go, oh?
I think it filled me with confidence. Like, she is well practiced. Well practiced.
Yeah, but I'd like to think there's a difference between you and a guinea pig. And how you stick a needle in it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. She said with cows it's very different, because you do just stab them with no warning. And then I just sat there feeling really bad for cows.
Yeah, but the cows are getting a vaccination. It's either that or they get tuberculosis.
True. But yeah, so basically I took my cardigan sleeve off, and she was like, left or right? And I was like, well, probably left. And then she sort of was looking at it, and she was like, right, I'm going to have to wait a minute, and you're going to have to calm down, because of the way the vaccination goes in, basically my arm had tightened up to the point where it could have snapped the needle, because the needles are really small. Yeah. So my muscle had all tensed up, so she was sort of rubbed my arm a bit, and she was like, right, okay, just chill. And she was trying to make me laugh. And so she was like, okay, this isn't going to work. Let's have a look at your other arm and see if that's any better. So I turned around to sort of pull my cardigan off the other arm, and she just sticked it in me.
She stabbed you.
She just went for it. and I because I'm not scared of the pain, because I know it doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt. That's the thing, it doesn't hurt.
So I literally just felt like, it's like a scratch.
A prick,
it's nothing. So I turned to her and I was like, and she was like, yeah, you've had it. And I was like so high on adrenaline. I was like, you are a legend. It was so embarrassing.
Did you call her a legend?
Yeah, absolutely. Best injection I've ever had.
For being completely...
Yeah, she just...
That could have gone wrong, though. What if you just suddenly moved?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. But
bold.
She knew what she was doing. To be fair, thinking back, she was touching my arm the whole time. So she was poised, ready.
Right, so she...
Yeah, she didn't, come from a distance and stab, javelin it in. But it was
Imagine
so
that,
quick. To be fair, it probably would have... I don't know, I've got images in my head now. You know how they sedate lions and stuff? Just get in a room full of people and just shooting vaccinations.
Yeah.
Darts.
We should do a dart gun with you. That'd be great. Just as you walk in...
Yeah. Anyone who's refusing a vaccine,
just
dart them.
Yeah. I want my vaccine. You don't feel too bad, though. Your arm's hurting.
My arm is really sore.
See?
It's really tender. And moving it above my head is quite sore, but other than that,
you're feeling okay.
Fine.
You're feeling okay.
I'm tired. I said, I'm tired.
I'm knackered as well. I think that's just because we're knackered. We don't seem to have been sleeping that well recently. I don't know what that's about.
Well, half the blind fell off the other day.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't
just
even
noises,
notice.
just noises in the night. It's a very good point. So yeah, so since the last podcast, you've had your vaccine. Mm-hmm. The other thing that we've done is we did a big charity stream on my YouTube channel.
We did, yeah.
It was quite short notice because it was, at the time of recording this, last week was Mental Health Awareness Week. And to mark the occasion last year, I did a video, which was a video about cans that isn't about cans. And it was this big analogy about mental health, and just sort of, the idea was to sort of, start a conversation around mental health.
Yeah, just get people talking.
Yeah, and I wanted to do something for it this year, and I left it quite late notice, to be honest with you. I've been thinking about it for a while, but nothing was really coming to mind. And then I decided quite last minute to do a charity stream where I wax my legs for the campaign against living miserably. So I put out a video on the Thursday and I did the stream on the Friday, and it went down really well. So thank you to everyone who was part of that. Thank you to everyone who got involved with that. We raised, at the time of recording again, over £1,000. I don't know why I say at the time of recording. I don't imagine it will go up much more. But, that was still way more than I was anticipating. And also, I've got silky smooth legs. Do you like my smooth legs?
Your legs are... They're smooth in patches.
They're very patchy.
But
I'm not trying to say it was a professional job.
Hey.
Well, no, it wasn't a professional job. It was, you were giggling your head like a maniac. I wasn't even sure that you were paying attention to what you were doing.
I wasn't.
I'm not calling that professional, and you can't get cross at that. Hey.
I left someone in the chat, someone who was donating and was in the sort of community, was desperate for me to leave some patches of fuzz on your legs. So I did, and there's in the middle of I think it's on your right.
Like a little shin mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
great.
I know. Is it great?
Yeah.
And also, you did mostly the calf, so I've got
ankle fuzz.
Just above the ankle, I've got a ring of fur. I'm not going to do anything about it. I think that's just part of the charity thing. It's just fortunately, I got blonde leg hair.
Unfortunately, it's absolutely tipping it down with rain.
Yeah, it's nearly the end of May, and I've worn shorts twice.
Yeah.
Which is quite upsetting, to be honest with you, this year. Normally by now, because normally when it gets to the summer, I make the switch to shorts, and jeans don't see the light again until autumn. But that's not happened this year. I've been firmly in jeans.
But usually nowadays, autumn is quite nice. So hopefully you'll get an extra.
I think September's always been nice though. I don't know about this. This has been a bad May. Don't make excuses for it. It's been a cold, wet May. And look, compared to last year when it was 25 degrees all the time.
You'd better hope the weather's better next month for your trip.
Yeah, well, let's not talk too much about that. But we've got a big. I've got a big YouTube. I might have mentioned it last stream. To be fair, big YouTube trip sort of around the UK, which it would be a lot easier if the weather was nice. is the long and short of it.
Yeah.
If it's not nice, it's not nice. What can you do about it, though? To be fair.
Yeah, you'll just get wet.
We got some comments on our last stream.
Oh, did we?
And I thought they were quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is from Faith Cat, who says, so I think this was because I said that my dad was called John.
Mm.
They've written, my uncles are called Dick, Don, and Dan, and Dave.
Dick, Don, Dan, and Dave?
Dick, Don, Dan, and Dave on birth certificates.
Wow.
4 Ds. As their dad vowed he would not suffer his name's fate, which was the entire name of a 1920s football team member. I forget which one. Yeah, but basically, I just thought that was quite funny. Look, you don't get many Dicks these days.
No.
You get a couple of Dans.
Oh, you get Dans. Loads of Dans.
Not many Dons.
Don. Does she mean Don or Dom? Dom. Like Dominic.
Well, Don is a name as well. Donald.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought Dom was just like your Italian Dons.
Well, I assume
Like
it's for Donald.
Don
No.
No? Okay.
No, I reckon so.
Donald?
Donald. You are familiar with the name Donald?
I am,
you?
but I didn't think you could shorten that.
To Don.
Well, because Don is just like a syllable, not an actual name.
Yeah, but you must have heard people being called Don.
Yeah, like the Don. He's the Don. Not like he's the Donald.
Well, this is actually quite good, the fact that you don't know this, because there was definitely... Do you remember we had the whole dogs at polling stations things?
Yeah.
And what did you say it was?
Polling
station. Yeah, no. Peter McCarby agrees with me. It's definitely polling, not polling.
Well, why did they spell it polling?
And they also said, I'm with John on the golf too. Me and my partner have a game called Mince or Mince. It's the same rules.
Mince or mince? Yeah.
So
no, but it's not because...
Mince.
Because...
Mince.
Mince.
Yeah, what am I saying there? Mince.
Like meat.
No. See, it's a good game. It's a good game. That definitely had a T in it. Listen to it again. Mince. Which one was that?
I honestly... Say it again?
Mince.
Oh, that was meat.
No, that was the mint again. Exactly.
I'll
Mince
do
or
it.
mince? Go.
Mince.
That was with a T. That was mint.
Yeah.
That was mint. Yeah.
Okay. Go again. Mince.
That was the meat.
It was.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And
Sounds
also,
the same to me.
and also they've said I'm from Yorkshire, not from London, so it's not a north-south thing.
No.
Polling station.
But-
Polling.
But
Is what you were
okay,
saying.
you know what? I can let that go, fine. But I'm not letting go of the golf thing.
You meant the sport the first time round.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I said golf with an O.
Golf and golf.
You look. It looked like it was really painful for you to try and get that out.
No, definitely not. There was also a comment here, which I thought could be quite a good discussion point, from John Carter, who said, "Are either of you superstitious? Have habits you have to follow?"
Oh.
I was curious about this because I was trying to think about whether or not I'm superstitious. I think the answer is no. But I'm sometimes a bit of a creature of habit. I do like to do things in a certain way. But what do you think?
You're definitely a creature of habit. I don't know if I'd call them habits or just like obsessive things.
Go on.
that I do.
Sorry.
So I obsessively take my contraceptive pill.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but you would be surprised at the women who are not obsessive about that.
So I think obsessively taking medication.
Yeah, but you're not obsessive about your medication that you take every day.
I mostly am. I very rarely miss it.
If you were taking it to not get pregnant, I'd hope you'd be a little less lax about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not worried about getting pregnant, I suppose. That's true.
Anyway, I'm not making any kind of point with that. I'm just very obsessive about that.
Yeah.
I have mainly bad habits.
Go on.
Well, like biting my skin around my
Yeah,
nails.
but that's not. I don't think that's what they mean. They just mean like, is there anything, like, are you superstitious?
Back in the day when I was taking lots of exams, I had sort of superstitions around that.
Go on, like what?
Half a can of sugar-free Red Bull.
Before the exam.
About half an hour before the exam.
Right.
No note reading or anything in the morning. Nothing.
Right.
Before the exam. And always ask for more paper.
Always ask for more paper.
Freak
when you've started?
Out. Yeah, freak everyone out.
I hated the people. I'm a slow writer. I'm a really slow writer. I would never be anywhere close to the end of the paper. I'd have pages and pages left. So when people are getting there, and I've got quite small writing as well. But so when people are saying, "Can I have more paper?" I do you know what I think? Dickhead.
Yeah. Well, I can take it. It's fine.
It doesn't psych me out. I just think, dickhead. The paper's this size for a reason.
Yeah, but I try and in exams I try and cram so much onto the paper that I end up writing so fast that my hand starts moving quicker than I'm actually writing the words. So I'll end up with literally like 3 words on a line.
How is that okay?
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
It's worked so far though, hasn't it?
That's true. You did well in your exams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm not superstitious.
I don't think I'm superstitious, really.
Like, I don't believe in... Like, for example, with ghosts. And I know that's not a superstition. But it kind of is, because you have to be a bit superstitious to believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts. I want to believe in ghosts. I want to see a ghost and be like, right, well, that's it. Confirmed. Ghosts.
I'd like to have dinner with a ghost.
Yeah, but I just don't. You know, like same with. Well, have aliens visited the Earth? Maybe, but until I see them, meh.
Aliens probably have visited Earth, as long as we're calling aliens any sort of extraterrestrial life. Lots of bacteria will have travelled to Earth on meteorites, and they are aliens.
They reckon that's potentially how life on Earth started. Meteorites. So, but that's not what I mean.
Meteorites.
Yeah, like meteor. Yeah, like
The
mince.
meaty ones.
Yeah, like made of mince.
That was a nice circle to come round. But I mean, with superstitious things like your classic ones, like not walking under ladders, I don't care. Not looking.
Not
at
walking
broken
under
mirrors.
ladders is just good advice. That's not superstitious.
Yeah, but like broken mirrors, don't care.
If broken mirrors were a thing, I once had a work experience at the gift shop of Duxford Air Museum. And that was in year 10, whatever year you are when you have work experience. And I was carrying a box of it was weird. They were like round plastic mirrors. They were like camouflage.
Compact mirror.
No, because well, I suppose it was compact, but compact's usually closed. This was just a round Yeah, like a clown.
Carry on.
But this was just a round sort of disc, but it was like had army camo on the back.
It's still a compact.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a small.
It's made for a handbag.
Compact means it. No, anyway.
Compact means small.
No, yeah, well, maybe does it?
Yeah.
No, because I don't look at... If we go to the shop and I see some small bananas, I don't go, look at those compact bananas.
Well, maybe we should.
No, because that's not what they are.
Well, actually, we call small bananas
It's because they've
bananitos.
compacted a lot into a small place.
They've compacted lots of potassium into a small banana.
It's just a small mirror. It's not compact.
Anyway, what's the point of the story? What did you do with the box of mirrors?
Well, just about 10 slid off the top.
Okay.
So if there's 7 years bad luck for each, I got like 70 years bad luck for smashing about 10 of them.
Hopefully that's how long we'll be married.
Well, yeah. Well, in that time I have met you, so I don't know whether you consider that good luck or bad luck.
Who knows?
But no, I'm not... Like, when people say, like, don't open umbrella indoors, that's just good advice. You know?
Is that a thing?
That's a superstition.
And what happens if you do?
Nothing. You knock things over.
Right, okay.
But never walking under a ladder. Also, just good advice.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not superstitious about it.
No.
You know how like sometimes if there's 3 drains, people like will jump over the third one because you're not one.
No.
Yeah, there's a one. People do it. People definitely do it. Like I'd be curious to know if anyone is listening that has weird superstitions.
Yeah.
Let me. In fact, John asked that question, so maybe
Yeah.
there's a reason why he's asking that. But
Are you superstitious?
some people don't
John?
like to step on 3 drains in a row. So if there's 3, they'll like leap over the last one or something like that. But that is superstitious, but that also just seems like it probably stemmed from good advice, probably from a time when 3 they weren't that stable, so walking over 3 of them, one would collapse.
I think that's just a weird thing.
Can't think of like spilling salt. Just don't spill salt.
Black cats.
Yeah, poor black
Usually
cats.
they're actually just quite cute.
Yeah, think about Snuggy. He was a
Yeah.
cute cat.
Yeah.
Black cat. He was very lucky.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, he was probably a little too lucky. Survived longer than he should have done.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I suppose then what I would like to know is, does anyone that's listening have any weird superstitions? That'd be good. Like, does anyone who's listening have a superstition which
Properly weird.
properly weird?
Yeah, not a standard one. I don't want to have heard of it.
Even standard ones, to be fair, it'd be good to hear. But is there anything that people do which they just sort of shrug when people see it and go, it's just the thing I do? You know how long...
I've
go on,
I
go on.
remembered one.
Go on. What have you remembered?
I got this from a friend.
Right.
And you'll remember it when I say it. If you manage to like get through the lights just on like an amber light when you're driving, touch the roof.
This one winds me up.
Touch the roof.
This one winds me up. Whenever you drive through an orange light, you touch the roof.
Yeah.
And I go, why'd you do that? And you're like, for good luck. And I'm like, what? Taking a hand off of the wheel.
It's called living on the edge.
No, you've basically by doing that acknowledged that going through an orange light is risky, and that you've added to the risk by taking it. I don't understand that one at all. And you shouldn't have brought that one up. That's a bad one to bring up. Because what you've highlighted there is that you regularly jump the lights.
No, that's not jumping lights.
And when
You're
you
allowed
do
to
it,
go,
and when you do
Amber.
it, it's bloody dangerous.
Amber?
You do it.
No. Let's clarify. We're going through amber lights here, not red lights. Amber lights means get ready to stop,
You should probably try and slow down.
but don't actually
You
stop.
put your foot down when you see an amber light.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Well, it depends how far away from it I am.
really far. You put your foot down.
No, I don't. I'm a good
And then you
driver.
take your hands off the wheel and go.
No, I don't.
You see that? She didn't whack
You
me.
just screamed in people's ears.
Nah, the microphone's far away. If I was to scream people's ears,
Stop
I'd be
it.
like, ah! Right,
Stop it.
right. You
my
keep
arm.
going to. You went to whack me twice. I
I
didn't
didn't go
touch
to
your
whack
arm.
you. I went to restrain you.
You went to whack me. You went.
Restrain.
It was like that. But then you remember there's a
Anyway.
camera here, and that would.
Move on.
To what?
Next comment.
Next. Well, I thought we could move on. You know how last time we did the news stories, and it was my turn to research the news stories this week. I decided that I was going to play off of that a little bit. I was going to vary it up, and then next week you can do whatever you want. But have you don't go on Reddit, do you?
No.
You're not familiar with Reddit. So on Reddit, there's a subreddit called AmITheAHole. And basically, people go on there and they tell a story where someone has basically told them they're an arsehole, effectively. And they've told the story and they've gone, am I? And then the internet, as a group, Reddit, will decide yes or no, you are the arsehole or you aren't the arsehole.
Okay.
So, What I did, because I know how much you like to pass judgment on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you love it. We went to a restaurant the other day, and you and I both loved it. We were commenting on what people were wearing left, right, and centre.
Yeah, because there were two
that
different...
was a bold choice.
Yeah,
Oh.
but there were two different directions people had gone in for that first night out.
One of them you were like, you were quite funny actually, because one of them you were like, you kind of said, this is the first time we've been able to go out for half a year, and they're wearing that. And then someone else you were like, basically implying it was too OTT.
No one was OTT. There was just that one guy in a flipping gym top and joggers at a nice restaurant.
To be fair, it was
and
the
his
first...
partner had dressed up.
Yeah, and to put it into context, at the time of recording, this week is the first week in the UK where you can go and dine out in restaurants, and we did that this week, and it was good. That was good actually.
We did. It was very nice.
But yeah, you love to pass a judgment, and you love a gossip.
No, not really a gossip.
Yeah, we gossip a lot, I think.
No, we have meaningful debates about people.
Meaningful debates.
It's not gossip. I don't trade on rumours.
Okay, meaningful debates sounds like passing judgment, though.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, I thought I'd go on to Am I the Arsehole? I'd pick some of them that haven't been solved yet. The internet haven't decided whether or not they are the arsehole, and we could decide.
Okay.
So, give me a moment whilst I open that up. But that's the plan for today's episode. You know, a professional podcast would have had that open, ready to go.
Absolutely.
I'm opening it. So now this is filler. This bit that I'm doing now, where I talk over the top, it's filler, so that people cannot see this. It's a seamless transition between one and the other. And now I'm ready to go.
Why don't you concentrate on opening that?
Well, I'm ready. See, filler worked. It's perfect.
You ended up doing far too much filler.
Am I the arsehole?
Oh wow, Jesus!
4 months ago, my fiance and I were looking to adopt a cat. We found a middle-aged cat that was sitting in the shelter for a long while for a very obvious reason. Can you guess what the reason might be early on?
One eye.
One eye. Okay.
Or 3 legs.
Or 3 legs. Okay.
Or stumpy tail.
Or stumpy tail. The black cat and white pattern of the coats created a painfully obvious... penis shape right in the middle of the cat's face.
Oh no!
So that cat was still in the shelter because it had an obvious penis.
It's cockface.
There's a picture at the end of this as well, which I'll show you.
Oh, good.
Not gonna lie, I found this pretty funny, and so did my fiance.
Yeah.
So we went out to meet the cat. He was super sweet, so we took him home. But the shelter said they didn't know his name and that we could give him our own name. What?
So many names.
What's coming to your head right away?
Dick face, cock face.
Oh, okay. You might find this quite tame then.
Oh, right, okay. Willie.
Seeing how the thought of the cat having a penis on the face would be the first thing to anyone's mind, the moment they saw him, we thought it'd be funny little icebreaker to name him Richard.
Right. Okay.
Which, of course, is abbreviated
Dick.
Around the world to Dick.
Yes.
My own father, whose name is Richard, found this pretty funny and harmless, as did many other guests, until my sister-in-law visited. She said it was completely inappropriate and a disservice to the cat and the cat's feelings since I made fun of him with his name unbeknownst to the cat himself, and that it can be categorised as non-physical animal abuse. Thoughts so far?
Cats are not aware of what we refer to them as.
And also, Richard is just... Anyway, I told her the cat doesn't even speak English. Very good at Spanish, though.
Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo. It doesn't even speak English. Could have finished before English. Some of these were really badly written. I had to rewrite them for this so that I wouldn't stumble over it when I was reading it to you. So his feelings aren't hurt at all. So I don't see the problem. She then got mad at my fiance because he's enabling me to abuse an animal who cannot control what coat pattern it has. So now she's ghosted us.
I mean, that sounds like the perfect sort of end to that story, doesn't it?
Am I the arsehole for naming my cat Richard because he has a penis on his face? And just so that we're clear, there's the penis on his face.
It's not even that obvious.
Just for the camera there. I think it is. I mean, maybe that's not the best picture of it, but it's clearly balls and a dick. You know, it is more of triangular.
It's a little unfortunate. It's a cute cat, though.
But what I will say is, it's even less obviously a penis than you initially think.
Yeah, I definitely thought there'd be like penis hanging down.
Look, a drooping cock.
A drooping cock over the face, so that's not that bad.
So, are they the arsehole?
Absolutely not.
It's so... What a weird thing to get annoyed about.
Do you know what? Do you know what's happened there?
Go on.
The sister-in-law had a really fucking bad day, and they were just rising to everything.
But they've continued to ghost them since then.
Now they're embarrassed.
So they've got a safe face.
Yeah.
But surely at some point someone's going to go to them.
Also,
you might be overreacting.
Do you know what? They might be assholes for other reasons, and she was just looking for an excuse not to talk to them again. If
there
that
we
makes
go.
Sense. Could be that, but personally, if that was the only thing that they've done wrong, no, not assholes. It's a cat.
I mean, to be fair, like you were willing to call this cat cocknose.
I would have called it cockface.
Cockface.
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, cockface, 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 cockface! Like opening your door, shouting for the cat.
Yeah.
Cockface! If it doesn't need to come in for dinner.
Willy. I would have called it Willy.
Willy would have. I mean, Willy's still quite funny to open the door and just shout.
Willy.
Willy!
Well, some people call their children Willy.
Yeah, well, very few people call their children.
Well, they call them William, so they could definitely call them Willy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Here's another question. So we're saying, I think I agree with you. We're saying, so the way that it works is, arsehole or not the arsehole. Not the arsehole. Right. Here's the second question then. Is the sister the arsehole?
I think she's probably just tightly wound.
To get upset about them calling a cat Richard. This was the favourite phase, because this was in quotation marks, and then it can be categorised as non-physical animal abuse.
I'd hate to hear some of her other opinions.
Yeah, like... I don't want to meet that person.
Absolutely not.
You can tell that... Look,
hard work.
They're going to be... That's what I was going to say. They're going to be hard work. Right, so the verdict on that one is not the arseholes. Do you like this game? Is this good?
Yeah, it's fun. It's
fun. Okay. Next one. There's usually a title, but I'm not going to read the title because I think the title gives away too much for most of these. So I just launch into the story. This incident started about 4 years ago, but a recent Am I the Arsehole post reminded me of it. A lot of my family had my back, but I don't trust their judgment on a number of things. So not only do they... So their family think they're not the arsehole, but they don't trust their family, so they now want to find out if they're the arsehole.
I see.
Background. My 3 cousins, who are all boys, 14, 16 and 17 at the time, had a phase where they wanted to be famous YouTube pranksters. Right. Imagine wanting to try and make it on YouTube. Ridiculous. But pranksters, though. So basically, it could be mean-spirited videos, let's say. Yeah. They thought they would achieve stardom by posting some really nasty, mean-spirited prank videos. They used the phrase mean-spirited. Possibly why I did. I didn't read that just then. I didn't find out about this until later, but several of their pranks targeted my then girlfriend, brackets, now wife, Esther. Right. So not a lot of people put names in here, so I thought that was quite a nice touch. Esther. One of which was swapping out my wife's bacon bits with actual bacon. Ooh. Then secretly recording her as she ate a salad with real bacon bits. Esther doesn't eat pork for religious reasons. Their sister, so it's not even like they tricked a vegetarian. They tricked someone. Not that would be okay, by the way. But they've tricked someone who's doesn't do it. They abstain from doing it for religious reasons. Their sister, another victim, leaked the video to them. So that's how they knew about the bacon bits. They didn't actually come clean with it. They only knew about it because the sister of the cousins, who I guess is also their cousin, leaked it. Okay. Our reaction to the video was so visceral that we seriously considered pressing charges on my underage cousins. In the end, we didn't, but cut off contact with my 3 cousins and their mother, my dad's sister, who acted like it was no big deal. The cousins never apologised for what they did. What are your initial thoughts so far?
Well, the mother should have made them apologise for sure.
Didn't think it was a big deal at all.
Yeah, no, that's incorrect.
Right. A few years later, and Esther and I are getting married. We sent out invitations around October 2019. 2019. Could you remember that?
Yeah.
When you could just get married.
Yeah.
You could just get married. To be fair, we probably sent out our invites October 2019, roughly around then.
Yeah.
They clearly didn't leave as much leeway into it. Anyway, although it doesn't actually say here anything about the actual wedding, so
But
maybe
it
not.
does say wife.
Wife, it does say now wife. Right, middle cousin. So one of the had made a post on Facebook calling me out for excluding his family and asking where their invite was. Then he called my wife and I a pair of bigots for disinviting them because he's gay. That's literally how I found out they came out. I had no idea beforehand. Good for him, but that doesn't excuse him for what he and his brothers did. Most of their followers who responded agreed with him and demanded that we invite the family. So the middle cousin is I don't know if they believe that it's because they're gay or if they're just trying to go, hang on, I've not done anything wrong and this guy's discriminating against me because I'm gay.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's already becoming quite a tricky situation.
They don't seem like nice people.
The cousins.
Yeah.
They seem like dicks.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like I had no choice at the time. I wrote a comment saying something on the lines of, the reason why you, cousin 1 and cousin 2 and aunts weren't invited was because you turned my wife-to-be into the butt of your immature prank videos and tricked her into eating something which her faith bans. Their sister backed me up and shared the video on the Facebook group, then not private, but the one that they hadn't really let their friends and family know about. So, according to a post middle cousin later made, he got fired from his volunteer job at a teen helpline and had another job offer pulled because the higher-ups saw the video. Something similar also happened to his brothers. Their sister confirmed it. As far as I know, they're unemployed and living with their mum. And you're laughing because karma tastes good, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Absolutely. All right, so I think I know what you're gonna go for here. I don't know which part pisses me off more: my cousins bullying my wife or lying about it to cover their own tracks at our expense. Most of the family backs Esther and I, but I don't trust their judgment because they have their own reasons to be mad at my aunt and her family. Those guys are in their 20s now and act like the videos were no big deal, while blaming Esther, me, and their sister for ruining their lives. Their mum is no help either. Am I the arsehole for setting the record straight and telling my cousin the reason why my cousins weren't invited to my wedding?
No, definitely not.
Do you know what? The reason I read that out is because you don't want to ruin people's lives and get them sacked. And the middle cousin was 16 at the time of recording the pranks. Now, 16 is old enough to know better, I think. Absolutely. But at the same time, they're still a child. So you wanted to have a little bit of sympathy for them. But then the fact that they never apologised and continued down this line and then tried to bring it up because it was a homophobic thing.
Do you know what it is, though? So the whole thing could have been... it could have all just not happened if there'd just been an apology.
Yeah.
Because everyone makes mistakes. Like, if you're not religious yourself, you don't maybe understand why that religion
why it was so bad,
why it was such a big deal. And you don't ever have to understand that, but you do have to apologise if you've upset someone. No matter what it is, you have to apologise if you upset someone. So it could have all been,
glossed
swept
over,
under the rug at that point. Now, the reason that... I don't know why he's saying he doesn't trust his other family members, because they've got their own reasons to hate them. So basically...
It sounds like everyone hates this family.
Yeah, it sounds like there are reasons for a reason.
So you're being quite forgiving today. You're saying they're not the arsehole. Not only that, you're calling the cousins the arsehole in this one.
I had another little snippet.
Go on.
It's about intent, isn't it? Those cousins intentionally tried to hurt someone with their prank.
Yeah.
Because even if let's say she was vegetarian and just didn't eat pork because of that reason, they were still intending to make her feel bad.
Yeah.
Whereas...
Well, no, she was never meant to know. They were just laughing at her. They were just doing it at her.
Well, they intended to get people to laugh at her.
Yeah.
So they had intent there. Whereas when he posted the video back on the thing and they all lost their jobs, he didn't intend for them to lose their jobs because of it.
No, he was setting the record straight
to say, actually, I'm standing up for my partner here, and you were in the wrong.
So we've got a clean sweep so far of not the arsehole.
Not the arsehole.
Right, let's see if this one changes your mind.
I hope he's listening as well.
There are these special slices of cake. Okay, this one's quite badly written. I seem to remember. So if I stumble over this, I can only apologise. There was only so much I could correct it without rewriting it. And I wanted it to be authentic. There are these special slices of cake I like to get at the bakery section at my local store. I recently had surgery, so I try to stock up on items so I don't have to make multiple trips to the store. Driving is hard for me right now, especially because I frequently have to take pain meds and I can't drive when on those things. Otherwise, I wouldn't be as much of a food hoarder. I did that because they put hoarder in quotation marks.
Right.
Anyway, there are 3 slices left. So they've gone. This is what I mean. They've just jumped in the shop. I'm at the shop and there's 3 slices left, and I've grabbed them all.
Okay.
Then I've headed to the checkout line. A mother came up behind me with her crying/screaming kid. I'm guessing he was 4 or 5. They weren't there when I grabbed the cake slices. They must have gone to the bakery section after me, and there was none left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting the items on the register, and the kid sees the cakes. Shrieks/cries, "There they are, make her give them to me." The mother said, "No, that belongs to the lady." The kid then screams like a banshee, melts down on the floor. I try to ignore them and not make eye contact. I pay for my food, grab my bags. The mother shouts to me, "Really? Would it have killed you to give me 1 slice for my kid? I'm a single mother."
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, I'm already couldn't tell where you're going with this. I don't think that kids should learn that throwing a tantrum gets them their ways. In my opinion, it would have been a good teaching moment to teach the child that they can't always have what he wants. Am I the arsehole?
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Do you know what? Sometimes kids have meltdowns.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? The thing is like, I do appreciate if you're a single mother that a meltdown is exhausting and you don't know how many they've had, and in that moment you might just be looking for some relief from it. But you can't blame other people.
You can't blame a complete stranger, because if I was in that position, it's not my place to give your child something that you've not said that they can have. I don't know what your parenting style is. I don't know if you want this to be a teaching moment or not.
Yeah, so if you'd have turned around
So
and
if
said,
I
"Would
turn
you
around
like
and
this?"
say, "Oh, here you go," have I just ruined your entire teaching stream for your child?
Yeah, we've without wanting to, not badly, but we've been told off once or twice with your dad.
Yeah, you don't interfere with other people's children.
Because you've got a 7-year-old half sister, and we've assumed that moments are going to be teaching moments, and we've always been told no.
Yeah.
So we don't bother anymore. We don't do anything. We don't do anything.
It's not for me to teach your child. It's for me to live my own life and buy my sodding cake if I want it.
This mum reminded me. I remember once. Me and my family were all... My mum, I've got 3 sisters. I think I've mentioned that quite a lot. We went out when we were younger, when we just moved to Cambridge. We didn't have a lot of money at the time, but mum was going to take us for a lunch. But she really, honestly, just had what it would cost for the lunch, and she sort of figured it out. So this is how much it's going to be. And my sister my youngest sister at the time wanted a milkshake. I remember this quite vividly. And my mum was like, "No, not only can I not afford it, but also no. I've said no. The answer's no." My sister then proceeded to have a complete and utter, like the one of the worst meltdowns I've ever seen. Rebecca and Aisling were both good at having meltdowns, but this was a pretty spectacular meltdown. And I remember my mum didn't cave the entire time and ended up like dragging us all home with Aisling screaming the whole way home. And I remember at that point in time, like even as a kid, sort of respecting my mum for having stood firm there, because it wasn't easy. It was not a long way. It was a long way home. But I don't think until we have children and we've got a child in a meltdown, we can really pass judgment on that one. But my initial reaction from reading that, not the arsehole.
Just not the arsehole, because it's not your problem, and you've gone to buy something. And you've got there first. Simple as. And
also, the mother there hasn't had any appreciation for why the person might be buying 3 slices. They might have 3 children at home. They might be doing it. Well, the reason that they are holding is because of the surgery. But, there's all sorts of reasons. But anyway.
Yeah, if you were a quick thinker, you'd turn around and go, "Actually, these are 3 slices of cake for my children. And I'm a single mother, so fuck you." But walking away calmly would be the high road.
Oh. Do you want another parenting one?
Go on.
This is another parenting one. This one is interesting. This one is tricky, I think. This is a little bit trickier.
Okay. So far I found them easy, just so you know.
Well, to be fair, most people who are asking, am I the arsehole, secretly think they're not, and they want the validation from the internet. They're right, yeah. Reading ones where the people are the arsehole, I'm like, how could you think? Because I read a couple where it was concluded arsehole, and I was like, how could you think you would possibly come off well? Why would you post this online? This is so incriminating, you dick.
Okay, go on.
I've, and it's 26 female, they put in brackets, have been dating Henry, who's a 33-year-old male, just for context, for about 2 years now. He has 2 kids from a previous marriage, Kevin, who's 8, and Ella, who's 6. He and his ex-wife, Jess, have 75-25 custody. So ever since Henry moved in with me a few months ago, the kids stay with us 25% of the time. Jess is a laid-back parent who lets her kids do whatever they want. Henry doesn't like confrontation, so he defers to Jess most of the time. There are many instances where I disagree with her parenting style, but I'm not their mother and I know my place. The issue: Henry isn't the best cook, so in our home I do all the cooking and he cleans. Whenever he has the kids, I make their meals. The way I was raised is that you eat your meals at the table. I feel like this is the respectful thing to do when someone has prepared food for you. So I was a bit shocked when the first night I cooked for the kids, they took their plates without a word and went to watch TV on the sofa. I called them back and asked them to please sit at the table. They listened, and the rest of the time we had no problems. Then the next time they came back from Jess's place, we had the same issue. When I told them to please sit down, they began to complain. Mum lets us have iPads at dinner. Mum lets us eat in our rooms. I understood their confusion. Of course, being kids, it must have been difficult to adjust to having 2 different homes. 2 different homes. Of course, it must have been confusing to have 2 different dinner rules. I explained that while they may be able to eat where they want at their mother's, at our house, I wanted them to eat. I wanted to eat with them and see their beautiful faces enjoy the meal. I thought that was quite a nice way of navigating that. After they went home, I got an angry phone call from Jess. She said that I was just Henry's girlfriend and that I had no right to tell her kids what to do. I told her that yes, I was just the girlfriend and yes, I shouldn't overstep. But while they're in my home eating my food, I feel that I can have a say in how they eat it. Besides, it isn't as if I told her kids that my way was the right way or criticised her parenting to their face. I told her it was unrealistic that I'd have 0 role in the childcare when they live with me and Henry 25% of the time. I cook their food, do their laundry and drive them to places. So while I'm not their mother, I'm more than a stranger. The reason I brought this one up to you is because obviously both of your parents remarried. So I wondered if this would reflect at all on your relationships with either step-parent. She blew up at me and called me a bitch. And has been harassing Henry non-stop about this. He pulled me aside yesterday asking me to please just give in to keep the peace. The kids hate my rules, Jess hates my rules, and he is afraid that they won't want to live with him anymore, which is understandable. I don't get that. I told him that he can cook for them himself, but as long as they're eating my food, I want to stand my ground. He told me he expected better from me and is upset. All 4 people in the conflict seem to think I'm the arsehole right now, and I'm really lost. This is my first time dating someone with kids. I realise I may be out of my depth, so I appreciate some unbiased insight. Am I the arsehole? And they have just put an edit here as well. Just to clarify, as people seem confused in the comments, I talked to Henry the first night and we both agreed the rule. I wouldn't make a major decision like that without his consent. He then changed his mind after Jess threatened to sue for custody. So much to unpack there. This is maybe a little bit heavier than I thought.
There's there's not a lot to unpack there.
Are they the arsehole? No.
Not at all.
The reason I was interested by this, because I remember you saying that when your stepmum would try and send you to bed.
Yeah, it's annoying.
You would almost laugh, almost.
But this is very different. These children are 8 and 6.
Yeah.
I was 13, 14 when that was happening.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? There's always going to be a little bit of a conflict.
There's a bit of a conflict, but the parents never got involved about it. And the rule was the rule. What
I will say is this person is decided to date someone who's got kids and has taken the role of cooking and cleaning after them at the age of 26 when it's not their family, you know. Yeah. So it is hard.
And they
but
also
it is quite difficult for kids to accept a new authority figure at any point in life.
Definitely. It's really difficult. But she's also been really fair and said I'm actively not criticising. You do that there, that's fine. You know, you eat your meal wherever you want there, but here I would like to do this. And also there's something to be said for a family only having 25% of the time with their children. That's a really small amount of time. So yes, you want to sit and have a meal with them.
It's quite interesting. Okay, so I think that this has been more of an insight for me and you as to how we're going to parent.
Yeah. You sit at the You sit at the table for your meal.
Right.
And you respect each other's rules.
This podcast is definitely going to be called Who's the A-Hole?
Okay. I thought we could call it Dinner with a Ghost.
Dinner with a Ghost?
Yeah.
That's too whimsical.
No.
To be decided.
Okay.
TBD. Right, the last one. This one's a little bit more light-hearted, I think. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, I'm starting to lose faith now because these are all a little bit heavier. I thought we'd have like fun banter back and forth, but actually...
Did you agree with me then that she's not an arsehole?
I agreed with you.
Yeah. Okay.
I agreed with you, but also I don't have divorced parents, so I don't have that insight. Whereas as the child of divorced parents who've both remarried, and therefore you've had two sets of you've now got a stepdad and a stepmom.
There's just different.
Who are very different as well. So your stepdad is very laid back, but by the sounds of it, your stepmom was a bit more involved. So
there's different rules in different households.
So you think that they're not the arsehole?
No.
Do you know what's funny about that? Maybe they I suppose their username was them. We know everyone's name except for theirs. Henry needs to grow a pair.
Henry needs to get over himself. There's being like non-confrontational, and then there's being a wet flannel.
Yeah, just say to Jess, no, when they're at my house, they eat at the table because I only get 25% of the time with them.
Yeah, so I want to spend that time with
Henry?
Yeah.
Pull yourself together, lad.
Yeah.
Right, last one. Am I the arsehole? So I, a 21-year-old guy, live with my childhood best friend, 22, also a guy, and I've done so for 2 years now. Up until last week, things were perfect between us.
Right.
Proper little bromance going on.
Did one of them get a girlfriend?
It was basically. However, he recently got a new girlfriend, a 23-year-old lady. And she honestly seems absolutely great, except one thing. Okay. What do you reckon the one thing is?
I wouldn't like to hazard a guess.
She's massively racist. No, that's not what it is.
Okay.
She seemingly has a complete aversion to knocking.
Oh.
She and I have quite a lot in common, and I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me that when she just barges into my room without knocking first. Yeah. It's bold, a young lad.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
A young single lad. Come on, he could be watching porn, he could be wanking.
Yeah,
he could just want his own space, not barged into as well.
Yeah.
Anyway. Now, she's never walked on me doing anything untoward. Good use of the word untoward, I thought. I'm usually just chilling on my bed or studying at my desk. However, on at least seven, so it's good to keep that. It's definitely 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
Separate occasions, because it's such a bizarre number.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's done it first thing in the morning to ask if I want a coffee.
Oh, God.
Prime wanking time. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Just prime being naked in bedtime, or being in pants, or being vulnerable.
Here we go. The next sentence is 3 words long.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
Fuck off now.
No, I sleep naked.
Okay, there we go. Yes.
Every time prior to the last one, I've been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I've always pointed out that she could have, and she just giggles and says, "But I didn't."
Oh, God.
I can't tell at this point if he's not being direct enough, because maybe he should just be saying, "I don't want you to come into my room." Please.
Yeah, it's a confrontational thing again, isn't it?
But I can't tell from that if he has or not, or if he's just sort of tried to navigate it by joking.
Yeah.
When she stayed over last week, in order to make my point, I intentionally slept on top of my covers.
Little bit of an arsehole, mate. A little bit.
Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m, begins to ask if I want coffee, and sees my you know what. She immediately backed out of the room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day.
Oh,
My
child.
mate later pulled me aside and said I was bang out of order and accused me of deliberately exposing myself and pointed out that I'd threatened to do it before. I literally just said, okay, but what if I had no covers and you saw everything before? They are now framing this to others that I'm some sick creep who intentionally got naked and lay in wait for her because that's how I get my rocks off. And I kind of see how it came off that way.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Am I the arsehole for doing this?
No, but you're again, thin yogurt.
Thin yogurt of a human.
Pathetic. Just say, you need to knock on my door or just don't offer me coffee.
Yeah, I will say, I don't think you're the arsehole because it's your room, do what you want.
Yeah.
They did know that there was a chance that they would barge in and see them naked, but they weren't doing it as some sort of perv. They were just, because, that's just their naked body.
Yeah.
They weren't getting their kicks out of it. They were just saying, look. It's not a deliberate exposing yourself as it's being framed.
Getting naked is never the best way to prove a point.
That's what I was thinking. This is why I thought it was ambiguous. Getting naked is getting naked is, I won't say never, rarely the best way.
Very rarely.
Very rarely the best way to make a point.
There were multiple conversations that should have been had. I think the couple and the girl was probably being an arsehole in this more so. Because you can't go around saying someone's getting kicked out of being naked when you're the one barging into people's private spaces.
Right. So here's the question then. Because I feel like this is the more ambiguous one. And also the internet have passed judgment on.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be quite interesting to get one that the internet have passed judgment on. That was a bit ambiguous. So, are they the arsehole?
No.
No, they're not.
No.
The internet agreed with you. I will say though, there are
what?
better ways to deal with that.
I don't think I want to be. I don't know. I very rarely agree with the internet, so I'm not sure I want it to agree with me.
Well, they haven't passed judgment on any other ones, but I think the other ones are fairly cut and dry.
Yeah, they are cut and dry.
I think they are fairly cut and dry. So, how did you enjoy Am I the Arsehole as a game? Is that something we could do going forward? Or maybe we could find another subreddit and find other things. I just thought it'd be fun to pass judgment on people. And we learned a lot about our respective parenting techniques. So we're on the same page.
Our respective parenting for if we were to get divorced.
Yeah. Or if we were to have a kid that was kicking off in the middle of a shop.
Oh, yeah. It's never easy to deal with a screaming child, but
no, you don't know how often that person has dealt with it that day, and you don't know what sort of day they've had.
You just can't bring strangers into it. It's not their problem.
That's the thing. That's where they lost it.
It's not their problem.
It's not the stranger's problem, sadly.
If it's not.
But that mother was clearly at their wits' end to say, "Oh, really?" That's exacerbated, isn't it?
I don't care if they're at their wits' end. It's not my problem. It's your child. It's not even my problem if my sister's having a meltdown. Not my child, not my problem.
Yeah, that's your crotch gremlin. You deal with it.
I love that phrase.
Crotch gremlin.
Crotch gremlin.
Oh, God.
That's your little parasite.
You
deal with that.
You deal with your little parasitic crotch gremlin. Right, well, next episode is down to you, so you can bring whatever you want.
I have to bring whatever feature.
You can bring news stories, you can bring whatever. What I will say... Go on, go.
Will the next episode be the last in this sort of season?
I was just about to say that. The next episode is going to be the last one before my trip, where I go away for a month. I will sort out on Patreon with my patrons what that means for them, and give them... Obviously, they have the option to unbecome patrons, and then if they want to later down the line become patrons again. So there'll probably be...
It's only going to be like a month's gap.
I think there'll be a month's gap and then we'll be back on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to call it season 1 and season 2, but there might be a little gap. But there is going to be one more before the gap, so let's not get carried away yet.
Yes.
There's going to be one more before the gap. I haven't taken any money out of Patreon yet because I'm using all the money from Patreon that I've earned for this YouTube project. That's the way that's working. I'm taking all the money out. It's not loads. It should be around, I don't know.
It's enough.
We're
very grateful for your
very
support.
Very grateful for your
patronage.
Patronage. I was trying to think of the word. Yeah, well, I had patronage in my head and then it sounded wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much for your patronage. That sounded sarcastic. I don't mean for it to sound sarcastic. Genuinely.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been the You Again podcast.
It has.
With me and you again.
Yeah, and me again.
Sign us off. Go on. Sign us. Do something exciting for the sign off. Something big and bold. Big close to the podcast. Here we go. Charlie, finish us off. Not like that. Yeah, sorry.
I was revving up to it.
No, the finish us off. I just realised how that might have come across.
Oh, don't make it dirty at the end.
Dirty. Go on.
Bye!